Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consulting Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this show anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, be sure to come join us. Right now, we've just surpassed 6,100 members, so we're growing pretty fast. If you're a coach or consultant and you're not already part of the community, we'd definitely love to come to have you. And with that being said, today we have Ryan Carruthers here. Hey Ryan, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome. And you said you're in the UK, right?
In the UK, yes.
Love it, man. I have some pretty good friends who are back there as well, too. I'm not sure if you know him, but John Molyneux. Have you heard that name before?
I've heard that name, yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, yeah.
Goodness, nice. I typically think like with the internet, right? Because with my friend circle, I typically think that everyone knows everyone, but then I realize, man, the internet is a pretty big place, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, Ryan, what is it that you do?
So I help people build, launch, and scale their membership website.
Hmm.
So predominantly bloggers, course creators, coaches, consultants, Insta moms, etc. They they have a course or they have a product or a following and they're not quite sure how they could fully monetize it, or they want to create a more recurring revenue model, and then that's where I come in.
Yeah. So membership. So why membership sites? Why did you pick that target?
So I basically, my life is a series of unfortunate events that have led to a series of very fortunate ones.
Hmm.
So I've always been really entrepreneurial and I've been involved in lots of different businesses. And I stumbled across a website called Betfair, which is a betting exchange. Now in America, they don't have online gambling; it's illegal. So but in the UK we do, and a betting exchange isn't a bookmaker; it's people placing bets effectively with each other, and the exchange matches it up. And I became one of their traders. I was one of their top traders, just like you would trade on the stock market. And then people wanted to learn from me, so I just stumbled across creating a membership website, and that was sort of 9-10 years ago now. And then from there, I've got a very, very obsessive personality. So when I start something, I've got to find out everything about it. So I am like finding out about digital marketing, and I'm finding out about this, and this all those years ago. And then because of my personality, my friends are like, "Oh, can you help me build a membership website?" So
Hmm.
over the years, it's just happened that I've helped and helped and helped and helped people build it. And then over the last 6 months, I've just gone, actually, I really love that. That's what I should be doing.
Hmm. That's awesome, man. I love it, and I love the experiences for them because I believe that the best way to get into something is something you've already done. I know there's a lot of individuals who get into wanting to do something and build a business, but they come from a place of I wanted to do something I've never done and I want to build a business out of it. Versus I find the best, the easiest, the funnest way to build a business is to say, hey, what's your passion? What have you done? What's your life experience? What have you really figured out? And then take that and come and build something out of it, which is it definitely seems like what you did. So the question becomes, in terms of membership sites, when would someone like what's a problem a membership site solves?
So it's usually recurring revenue.
Hmm.
So people might be doing a launch of their course in month sort of 3 and then 6 and then 9, and they might get worn out by that, or they might be pitching for consultancy gigs all the time and they just have this sort of peaks and troughs in their income. And a membership site just solves that. It enables you to provide so much value to your customer, but also you can get that recurring revenue. And that's what so many of my clients have always wanted and always been driving to get.
Hmm. So recurring revenue.
Yeah, and having membership websites myself, the recurring revenue it just gives me a freedom that I wouldn't have without that.
Yeah, awesome. How do you, in terms of the membership side, then is it like the higher ticket? Is it low end? How do you price? Because I know that's typically a question most people have is like, how do you price having a membership site and what you offer? How do you price it?
Yeah, so it's really, really straightforward for me, and I advise the same to my clients. It's all done on value. So how
Hmm.
much value are you giving your customer? And then that's broken down into, are you saving them time? Are you saving them money? Are you making them money? Can they see their results? And if they can see all of these things, then you can charge a higher ticket. So for example, one of my membership websites gave people software. It was a SaaS company, and it speeded up the research process for trading. So I would give you stats. I'd give you everything you need to be able to find your trades in under like 2 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that task might take you 2-3 hours. So now I've just given you that back, so I can charge a higher price point for that. But then I've interacted with membership websites where it's about an interest. So it was a mum who had similar interests in makeup, in TV shows, in Netflix, in films, etc., etc. So she was struggling to show her customers the value and the progress that they could make. So that was a lower ticket item. So it really is about sort of how much time you can save your customer, and how much value you're giving them, and how much you can show them the success in which they've come through. So if you are thinking about doing a membership website, then there's some of the things that you need to think about initially, and then you can start to price it all up.
Mm-hmm. And what about the content? Is a membership site something you should be updating daily, weekly, monthly, or is it? Can you get to a point where you've built the whole thing and you just like you don't really have to update the content and stuff like that? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's about 1,000,001 different things that you can put inside a membership. So
Mm.
I think the first thing to remember is that people will buy your membership for the content, and then they will stay for the community. So if you've got a forum in there, that's fantastic because that's evergreen. People build up relationships. So that's one sort of pillar of the membership website. And then I always advise people, don't go too crazy with your content inside of your membership. People want to give everything and everything and everything. And there's a whole list of things that you can do. So you could just put 2 or 3 checklists every month in that help your customer. You could do a live Q&A once a month where you just jump on a video very similar to this. Your customers give you, or the members give you, their questions and you answer them. And then you could do challenges. So you could create a monthly challenge, and then that can be whatever it may be. It might be creating content. So you say, guys, we know that you struggle creating content, so we've put together this really good training. Give them 1 or 2 videos, and then we're going to do a challenge as a community to try and write 3,000 words together. So everybody, you've got 4 weeks to do this. So you've always got to be giving content, but you don't need to overload the members. And one of the top tips here that I give absolutely everybody is plan your content out for the next 12 months, so you can actually know where you need to be and what you need to be doing. And then just make sure there's maybe one main thing every week. So it's not every single day you're having to come up with content. One main thing either week. It could be, you could do a challenge in week 1, a Q&A in week 4, and then in between just do some checklists to help with the challenge, and then maybe just a video training or anything that you want. You can get so creative with membership websites.
Yeah. And what about are there any specific let me see, niches that people build membership sites in? Are there niches where they should and they probably shouldn't, or is it just based
Oh,
on, hey, whatever your topic is, you can build a membership site
oh,
out of it?
man, don't. I have seen so many. I've seen people come to me and say, I'm going to build a membership on X. And I've gone, oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And they've made a massive success of it, like Morris dancers. So I don't know if you have Morris dancing in the US, but in the UK, we have Morris dancing. It's like dancing with bells around a pole and stuff. Massive membership website. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it goes back to what you were saying about, people should start with their passion. And that's the great thing about the internet. And again, you said it's huge. So if you have a passion for something, I guarantee you there is other people out there who also have a passion. And it's just about finding them and connecting them. So I wouldn't ever say never to any membership. I just work with them to make sure that we get the strategy right, and then go and give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it definitely sounds pretty interesting and exciting as well too, because I know when you had the recurring revenue and like you could actually do this to where you build the membership site, you have the content in there, you get clients in there, and they come for the content, they stay for, as you said, the community. It's pretty exciting. But what are some mistakes? Because I know when you get into anything, there's typically some mistakes beginners could make when they want to get into something. What mistakes do you typically see someone who wants to build a membership sites make? Do you see any?
Incredible question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the first one is worrying about, are you good enough? A lot of the times people are sort of in their own head thinking, am I good enough to do this, etc., etc., etc. And I always say, if you've helped just one person get better at what you are good enough at, then you are good enough. And then the second one is the technology. A lot of people obsess over what technology to use. So that's a massive, massive, massive issue just before you've even started. So I wouldn't obsess about the technology. You know, you can create a free Facebook group to get started just to see if people want to engage with you. And then the big mistakes are not really understanding your audience enough. So I always advise to people, you know, you've got to know your customer better than anybody else. Camp out in your customer's mind, know the kind of problems that they have, the kind of thoughts that they go through, you know, what keeps them up at night, their challenges, their emotional barriers, all of these things. Know those. So that's a really, really big mistake that a lot of people make, and they try and just create this membership without truly understanding the customer. Because then when you truly understand your customer, you can create the right content for them inside of a membership. And then when you've done that, the other big challenge is that people try to do everything at once for their customer. So just break your content down into bite-sized chunks. So don't just give your customers and your members everything in one go, because they'll get overwhelmed. And when
Mhm.
people get overwhelmed, they will leave your membership. So just to quickly recap, the mistakes are not knowing your customer and trying to give too much content to them early doors.
Okay, perfect. Love it. And that's so powerful as well. So I think the good enough factor, because I was actually talking to a client right before our call here, and this person, they were newer to getting the business started and stuff, and I realized that's typically what it is. It always comes back into, we just don't believe that we're good enough, right? And I'm not sure what the reason. Well, I guess it's, again, we're new to it, so we're not sure. We don't know what we don't know. So I believe that the not good enough is one of the core factors, the core skills that if someone could master that, that's where progress happens. Because if you could believe that, hey, this is possible and you can do it, that's where it is. So how do you help someone with that? So I know your clients, the ones who typically do show up with the, hey, I just don't know if I'm good enough. How do you help someone overcome that issue?
So this is one that actually took me a long time to be able to understand myself, because I'm a natural teacher and a
Hmm.
very confident person and a confident talker, and I want to just jump straight in and just help them. And it wasn't until I read a book called The Coaching Habit, which was an incredible book, and it broke it down into 7 questions. And it said, as humans, we just delve in and we just want to serve. And it was take a step back. So now I take a step back, and my first reaction is to listen and to ask them what's on their mind. So when they say I'm not good enough, I'll say, okay, well, what's on your mind about that then? And then they'll start to tell me. And usually there's something in there that they're not saying. And it's my job to get to the bottom of that and then instill that belief in them. And I let them do that. And then even then I used to jump straight in and say, oh, I can help you, help you, help you, help you. But the next question was, and what else? And that question just really hit home some of the challenges that the customers were having. So then I would say, and what else? And then from there, I would have this list of sort of challenges and issues. And I'd say to them, okay, so you've mentioned that you don't think you're good enough. You've mentioned that you've never succeeded at anything or whatever they've said. I say I've got a few sort of things that I can help you with to get around that. But what are your thoughts around that before I tell you mine? And then it's amazing how they seem to they open up and they just relax. And then it's weird. Their face changes because they give you the answer that you was probably about to give them, but they've come to that realization themselves
Hmm.
just from your probing questions. So that's always my line of questioning. I give customers questions. I want to find out more about them and then help them find the answer, which I know is already inside of them.
Yeah, that is so powerful as well too. And that's one thing I learned early on as well, which is, especially when it comes to coaching, it's much better, because I think I came from the same frame when I was just getting started, which was, hey, I just want to help. I'll just give you the answer. I'll just try to give it to you, and the person would never get it. versus taking a different approach, which is, okay, let's help you uncover your own answer, which is asking the right questions to where you come to your realization. Because I believe at the end of the day, excuse me, I believe at the end of the day, it's like when it comes to helping others and transformation, it's really not about us. It's more about, okay, just helping facilitate that person, get the answers, draw it out of them versus trying to put it in, right? So question now becomes, I love asking these three questions, which is in terms of story-wise, to get you to where you are today, the level of success you've created for yourself in your business, your life, um, is there a story that you could share from your past that's kind of a catalyst that you could say, okay, because of this thing here, that story here, that's why I kind of became who I am today. Do you have one of those stories?
Yeah, so it goes back to me saying about my life was a series of unfortunate events that led to a series of very fortunate ones. So I've always been entrepreneurial. My dad was entrepreneurial. My dad was my hero.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, my dad came home one day and said he was a builder. He worked on big construction projects. And he said, I'm sick of doing this. I'm going to be a window cleaner. And he built this business that was huge
Mm-hmm.
from this window cleaning business. Literally the next day, he quit and went window cleaning. And I was away at university and I got a phone call and my mum said, you need to come home. We need to talk to you. And I said, oh, can you not just tell me now? And she was like, no, we kind of need to do this face to face.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad had cancer, and it it shook me like literally to the core. And I've never really been anybody who struggles with anything. I take everything in my stride. And my first thought was, my dad's built this business. He was paying for me to be at university. So I said to him, Dad, I'll run your business for you. I said, you just focus on getting back to full health. I will run your business for you. And that is sort of the catalyst really for everything for me. I've always done entrepreneurial things. At the time I was selling makeup to get through university, and that really was crazy, stepping into a business with 11 people who work for my dad. My mum and my sister ran the office, and that was all on me then. And that was the catalyst. I made every mistake that you could ever make. I didn't talk to people the right way, but that really set me up, and that taught me so many things. And touch wood, my dad is fully healthy, and that was a while back now.
Mm-hmm. Well, good to hear you're doing good. Awesome, awesome. Love it, love it. Now, what about skills wise? Are there any specific skills you've learned that's gotten you to where you are today?
Oh
Oh, not really out
yeah.
there. I know there's a lot, but what's the one? What's the main
What's the
one?
I don't know if I don't know if it's a skill, but I will never give up, and I'm not afraid of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So I always joke that I grew up a ginger kid, so I was used to getting rejection, and I was always being really tall, so I was stuck out a lot wherever I went. But I don't take criticism personally. I don't take a no as personal. If I will just keep going and going and going, and it's probably easier to just deal with me than to not, because I will just keep going and keep going and keep going. You'll not get rid of me. So I don't know whether that's a skill, but that's got me to where I am today.
Yeah. So, what do you think that is? Because I know I meet a lot of individuals who, especially new entrepreneurs, um, they have this fear of judgment. They have this fear of what other people think about them and that type of stuff. How do you think you became to the point where you just don't really care? You're just like, hey, if this is what I want, that's what I want. If I gotta get rejected 100 times, 1,000, that's just what I want. That's what it takes. So, what made you this person?
I really don't know. I've always been very confident. Um, since I was about 12 or 13, I have always had a lot of confidence, and I've known that I'm not afraid, and I always believe in myself. And I I know as well that I get on with people, and I know that I like people and they like me, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. So I never feel that fear of judgment, because I think, well, if I don't know that, that's fine. I will make a mistake. That is totally fine. But I can ask somebody who I know who will help me. So I really don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer, or I wish I could bottle it up and give it to other people.
Mhm.
But I just seem to take everything in my stride.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you think that's a learnable process? Meaning that can someone go from where there's fear of rejection, there's fear of failure, there's fear of taking that next step and doing what they need to do to get their results? Do you think that's a learned skill, or do you feel like you're just born with a, or you either have it or you don't?
Oh no, I definitely think you can learn that, and I think it comes down to taking tiny steps. You know, picking something that you are scared of doing and do it. You know, me and my sister are total polar opposites. You know, I am this outgoing, extroverted character who isn't afraid of anything, and she's introverted. But with the lockdown, she hasn't been able to do her job, and she's been really really scared of that. So I've been talking to her about it, and the confidence boost that she has got is insane by just starting with one little thing that she was scared of. I said to her, just pick one thing that you're scared of doing and do it. And it took her weeks and weeks and weeks to do it, but she finally did it. And then she said, do you know what, Ryan? That wasn't actually that bad. So I think that's what anyone can do. If you take just one little thing you're scared of, whether you have to do it with somebody else who you know will help you and will guide you through it and hold your hand, just do it. And I guarantee the feeling that you get from that will be amazing. And then you will get this momentum and you will just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going.
Hmm. That's powerful stuff as well. So the reason I laugh is because most of my clients, bulk of them, when they were new or when they just joined, as we help them get to that 6, 7 figure level within their coaching consultant businesses. And whenever I give the advice, like saying, hey, here's what you need to do, there's always a bunch of, yeah, I don't know if I could do that, all these different things. It takes them maybe a week, a couple of weeks to finally get them. But I say on them, like, hey, did you do it? Did you do it? But when they finally do it, they realize, it really wasn't that bad. I should have just done this all along. And it's like this fantasy. We make up this vision, this thing in our minds that we think is going to be the worst possible thing that could possibly happen if we do take the action. But then when we do it, we realize that it typically wasn't that bad, and it typically never ends up playing out the way we perceived or we thought it would. Right?
Exactly.
Powerful stuff. Yeah. And the final question I have is in terms of habits wise, right? So, are there what's the one specific habit you believe that that's just the one habit, if someone really focused on it, they could create really massive success for themselves? What's one habit you would say?
So this is one that I got from Tim Ferriss, and it's to just write three things that you want to achieve that day, and
Hmm.
just give yourself the permission when you've done those to either, you know, go and do something that you enjoy or to carry on working. I write down three things every day that I want to achieve that day, and then when they're done, sometimes I will go and play golf or go for a run or I will do something in between or I'll go and do more work. But that has made a really, really big difference to me,
Hmm.
um, to do that. And it's amazing then by doing that, how powerful you actually become. And it just creates real momentum. That's what it
Yeah.
creates for me.
Yeah. Compound effect. Awesome,
Oh, yeah.
Ryan. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Well, hey, we're out of time here, but if someone wanted to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to connect?
So I'm really, really active on Facebook. So just search for Ryan Carruthers. There's a website, themembershipmastery.com, or there is a podcast. Just search for The Membership Mastery on any of your podcast providers.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. And all the links Ryan mentioned here today, guys, whether you're listening on the replay or watching this live, I will have the links included right below or above this video. So if you want to connect with Ryan, just be sure to click on the link and it'll take you directly to his profiles. Awesome, Ryan. So with that being said, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Before we end, do you have any final words to share?
No, I just think that everybody listening, just keep listening to you, keep doing what they're doing. You've got an incredible manner, and yeah, just keep it up, guys.
Love it, man. Well, appreciate you again. Thank you, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Thank you.